Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the next video. So this is going to be a tech demo, which is from Scans Factory, the team I'm working with, or rather collaborating with, and this is their asset pack, and it's none other than Paris. They previously had a Rome asset pack, and now they've made the Paris asset pack as well, which we're going to take a look at now. I'm recording this in the best quality possible, so if you can, watch it in 4K. I'm recording the whole thing in 4K at 60 frames per second, but it really eats up my computer's resources, so seriously watch it with that in mind. No matter if I turn on the frames per second counter or anything else, it doesn't really matter because it's just devouring my life along with my PC. I'll show you the settings. As you can see, the graphics options are set to Ultra in 4K with no upscaling or anything like that, but there's also an Epic setting. Well, on Epic, my computer basically freezes, so I'll stick with Ultra, but believe me, it still looks absolutely stunning this way. Here you can set the scenario, whether it's night or day, but for now I want to show you the daytime setting. With the B key, I can adjust whether the black bar appears, and with the P key, I can toggle the people on or off. Obviously they're static, but that's not a problem. I set it up this way so you can see as clearly as possible what the whole thing looks like. Let's take a walk around inside. Honestly, the FPS isn't too great at the moment, but you'll still get the main idea. Actually, this is the asset pack you're seeing, and this is the one you can purchase now right now at Scans Factory, and it looks absolutely incredible. So the map ends here. There's an invisible wall here, so you can't go any further. The look of this whole tech demo is just amazing. By the way, the reflections are entirely lumen-based, so it's all lumen, and this tech demo actually uses nanite as well. But it's just mind-blowing. If you take a look at it like this, then it would be really hard to tell whether this is actually from a game or if it was built in Unreal Engine or if it's real life. It's just incredible how they pulled all of this off. Let's take a walk around inside. Really, I'm deliberately not running or yanking the camera around like crazy because the point is for you to see everything in as much detail as possible. But somehow it's just mind-blowing. It's really something else. And obviously, the crazy thing is that if it's not running in cinematic mode, maybe the FPS isn't exactly blowing our minds right now because you can feel that it's definitely not 60 FPS. It's more like around 40 to 45 FPS, even while recording, which isn't that bad. But the lighting, the geometry it uses, and especially the global illumination, are just so good that you don't even necessarily need cinematic mode because you can achieve this level of quality yourself. With all of this in this form on Ultra settings. And as I said, there's still the cinematic mode, which, as the name suggests, is used for movies. They use these assets for films, and you can actually buy this asset at this quality on Feb, on Fob, on the new marketplace, and this is the quality you get. It's just insane. It looks absolutely brutal, as you can see. Of course, here it's a bit repetitive. There are people and characters here, but that doesn't really matter. They're just here to make the scene look arranged because it would look pretty weird if everything was empty, as you can see. So this is fine. It's totally okay that it's empty and all, but with people, even though they're static, it still adds a bit of life to the whole thing, to this tech demo. There's something alive in it, something going on. But just look at these full photoscan assets. I mean, look at all of this. It's simply incredible. Incredible. And I am telling you guys right now, the Roman one was already incredibly brutal. I mean, that previous asset pack we looked at. But the fact that now you can actually buy high-quality things like this is just amazing. It is truly insane. But I will show you more because you can actually sit inside the car and control it yourself. Obviously, I will turn off the people for now. And here you can clearly see that, well, yeah. So maybe a game like GTA will finally reach this meticulous level of detail one day, though I honestly do not know if that is possible, actually. It is just an extraordinary leap in quality for everyone. I do not think GTA 6 will reach this level of detail, but if it gets even close to something like this, that will already be incredible. That would be more than good enough. Obviously, guys, you have to look at all this knowing that it is not optimized. These things are just placed here, and from that point on, everything is calculated in real time, so obviously that is not even a question. But just to try this out like this, in this form that it works like this, looks like this, and runs on a computer like this is just insane. And just think about it. If this gets optimized and it gets DLSS as well, you know, when it upscales from a lower resolution, and on top of that, frame generation is also turned on. And then you'd immediately say, wow, suddenly, from all of this, right now, I couldn't even tell that this isn't real, but suddenly at 30, your 40 frames per second will become about 100 or 120 without any problem, literally without any problem. And it delivers this level of quality. This is literally full photo scan. So what you see here is one-to-one photo scan, and the lighting is entirely, as you know, in real time. It renders everything in real time. Of course, I'm saying that in this version you're seeing now, in this form, yes, it really does eat up your computer resources. It truly does. But let's not forget, as I previously mentioned, that in this specific RAW form, even though it is currently available for purchase exactly like this, we must remember that it still needs to be heavily optimized for performance. And so, if you truly want to represent a complex scene like this one in your own game or your current creative project, you certainly can. Because from now on, you have the power to represent an entire city district or a detailed map section in this exact form, providing a high level of visual fidelity for your users. At this quality like this within Unreal Engine 5. By the way, what's really interesting is that, look, it's running in Unreal Engine 5.6, so in the latest Unreal Engine, which, as you know, just became available a few days ago. Epic announced it at their press conference, or rather in a live stream, that it's now available, not just as a preview version, but as the actual final version. So version 5.6 of Unreal Engine is now available. So yeah, this is just mind-blowing. I'm telling you, I did a few laps in it, both on foot and by car, and and I'm laughing. It's just incredible. Now just think about it. Just look at this image. I'll just stop for a moment. If you sent this to someone like this, would they be able to tell it's not real? Seriously, honestly, I'm curious. Could anyone just from this say that this in this form wasn't made in real life? That this image is actually from a game or from a graphics engine? Honestly, I wouldn't be able to tell either. And I mean, I kind of have an eye for this, and I really use it on a daily basis, but I still wouldn't be able to tell. This looks insanely good. Now, if I remember correctly, you can still come here, if I remember right. Wait, let me just turn off the NPCs here before I run into them. But you can actually go to quite a few places here. It's just that a lot of areas are closed off. So here, yeah, you can come this way too, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Over there, it's already closed off. Yeah. So this is just mind-blowing, guys. And I'm telling you, the asset pack isn't even expensive, actually. So the crazy thing is, you'd think it costs hundreds of thousands of forints because of the quality, but it really doesn't at all. So this really isn't the kind of expensive asset pack that people would think it is, especially for indies, but even for big studios, it's basically pocket change. But even for independent indie creators, I mean, even as a dedicated solo game developer working alone, if you truly want to achieve this specific high-quality look in your game or project, this unique visual style and these detailed assets, because this is exactly what you want to build, it's still not prohibitively expensive, even when you break it down to just one single person. So, when you really look at the numbers, it's really not nearly as expensive as most people typically think professional game development is. Of course, we all know that game development is generally expensive. Now, obviously, you know how it goes. You can buy assets for hundreds of thousands of forints, of course, that's not even a question. But there are also companies like Scans Factory or Lerto Studio who specifically sell very good quality assets at affordable prices. And honestly, what more could you want? You know what I mean? This is a level of quality that's not just suitable for games. In fact, for games, it's almost overkill, but also for post-production. So you can already use them, and that's pretty crazy. And I think that within a few years, in this form, well, obviously MindSize was quite ahead of the curve here, but in a few years, there will be games available that will have smaller map sections with this kind of look, this kind of lighting, this kind of global illumination, and this kind of geometry. So really, not just houses and columns and all sorts of assets. So these won't just be in tech demos, but actually in real games as well. It's absolutely astonishing. So I just thought I'd show you this. Thank you for watching. That was this little video, just as a point of interest. If you liked it, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and if you want to learn Unreal Engine with us, where you can build things like this or similar, of course with game mechanics, then by clicking on this video, you can get started right away. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, everyone. Goodbye.